been doing this all by myself. And I resonated with that because of a place that I've been involved in here in Florida, where I've been doing a lot of stuff alone, and I'm ready to call in the right people to help me also. So I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I live at a co-housing house, and a lot of the residents decided to leave sort of all at once, which really cleared out the space. And I feel like it's perfect timing to cultivate something new. And I worked out something with the owner so that I'm sort of officially managing it, which is different from how it was before. It was more like egalitarian, which can work, but it was difficult and none of us knew how to work it. So yeah, I'm excited to work on building community, hosting workshops and events where people can connect and have transformative experiences. And I just want to create that community and use this as a venue for now. And I've got it for about a year. So yeah, that's why I'm here. And I want to connect with other communities that are forming around the world, really. And we need to network, we need to know each other, we need to connect, and we need to support each other. So
for sure. And I think I've actually had the pleasure of visiting and like staying for shorter and sometimes longer periods on quite a few different intentional communities. And I've seen some people kind of try this like very egalitarian, I know I didn't say that word right. But like when everybody has an equal say, it's kind of sometimes like a herd of sheep that are kind of just like bouncing into each other. So I really have found that the communities that tend to work a little better tend to have, you know, like a person or like a small group at the top that are in charge, that are really kind of holding the vision, and they see this vision. And I'm often reminded of kind of like the charioteer. And I feel kind of that's my space, and it sounds like your space as well in your community, where like you're like, all right, we're going vaguely in this direction, and then you have like a whole team that's like, yes. And I really like how you said to attract the right people, and even like what's right for you, and the people who you manifest in St. Petersburg may or may not be right for here in Tennessee. So cool. Thank you for sharing.
yeah, thank you.
And Ashley, I know you are driving. Are you able to speak a bit about
so I won't pop up the camera, but I can definitely speak. So my name is Ashley, and I'm in Nashville, and the reason why I'm here is I met Lux, and her energy it vibrates, and it like her aura is just astounding, and I am watching her flourish through her posts and these events that she's been doing. And I was just telling her, I was like, I'm watching you thrive. And when you connect with somebody and you're watching them thrive, like I want to be a part of that, and get involved in that community sense, and like immerse myself in that, because I just believe that like we are all human beings, and if we can show some form of like love and light, and like truly like connect with each other on like a higher level and a higher frequency, I just think it's a beautiful thing. Like in society, everybody's so go that they just don't even take the time to like breathe and take the world in and acknowledge other people's existence, and kind of like immerse themselves outside of themselves, like getting outside of themselves. And so when I've just been following her posts, and I was just like, I want to get involved in this beautiful like experience. And that's just why I'm here. I want to be along for this journey, because I can tell, and I feel that it's going to be like truly, I can't even think of the word. I can feel it, but it's going to be powerful, honestly and truly. And I'm just speaking that into the universe because, like, if I feel it, I just need to speak it. So that's all I have right now.
I'd love to speak to what Ashley said, if that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sweet. So Ashley, you inspired me just now. What you said really inspired me, because it's like what I want to do, and I think probably what Lux is doing is we want that thing that you were talking about. We want connection, and we want empowered connection, and we want to see people flourish. and I feel like a lot of people want that, and they might not know how to like go about getting involved and making that happen or being a part of something like that. And so your comments really inspired me. It's like, okay, why am I doing this again? Because it's a lot of work, you know what I mean? So thank you so much for the energy that you just brought to that.
You are so welcome. I'm just glad to be a part of this right now. Like, I'm smiling. I wish you guys could see me right now. I wish I wasn't just like looking at the GPS, but there's a lot of like positive energy, like just flowing through this communication. And it's just, it's wonderful.
I hear your smile.
Yeah. Welcome, Billy. And Ashley, I wanted to respond to, man, lady, when you were speaking, I just like my whole body filled with chills and that delight and bliss that I like to float in more and more. Yeah, it's just, I mean, really, it's so beautiful. Like I see you liking my post, but it's just so lovely to feel seen and heard. And especially by you. I think you're so cool, and I've always seen something really beautiful in you. I love how, just like the first time I met you, you gave me a stone, and you gave like everybody around. You're like, here's this beautiful, and it goes a rose quartz, or no, it was opal. And Ashley also leads these hikes like all around Nashville called, isn't it, Recenter the New You? Is that what you call it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all throughout Tennessee, Kentucky, and surrounding areas. I think there's a beauty to be found in nature that people forget about. So.
Yes, man. Thank you for doing that, and I look forward to joining your hikes. I always tend to, and not only that, but as Ray said, collaborating. Like I feel like my arms are just like open for cool, amazing humans doing cool things, and I'm just like, let's dance, let's figure out how to just like really bring the tribe together is the wording I'd like to choose. Like I've been looking for home and my tribe for so long. And as Ray mentioned, 3 out of the 4 of us on this call were at a beautiful gathering called Firefly Forest. It was a small festival in Jamestown, Tennessee, and I swear for 5 days we lived in the new earth. And probably continue to. And it's just such a beautiful time for us to connect and be together. And Billy, welcome to this call. Are you able to speak and tell us about you?
Yeah, as I'm driving here, so
Ooh.
glad to be here. I was a little late, but I was right on time. Yes, New Earth is appearing everywhere. I definitely saw it at Firefly. I see it at Monday Night Jazz. I see it almost daily, the frequency of New Earth appearing and the bliss state of it being experienced. It's so amazing. It's so incredible, and it's happening. So I'm in agreement. What I missed the beginning. Am I supposed to? What would you like me to talk about?
Yeah. Hey, Billy. Thank you for letting us know where you are. And I just really invited people to share why they're on this call, or why are you here?
Why? Definitely here for that sacred reunion of soul family, star family, to light the world on fire, but not in a fire that like a illuminating fire that lifts us and that cleanses the old, so that we, all of humanity and all of creation, can be renewed and restored and live in this bliss state of new earth and heaven on earth. That's why I'm here. And I'm on this call because I love y'all, and I love this, how this sacred community comes together and honors one another, and it's it's really special. I think the whole world wants this, and so that's why I'm on this call, because what we have when we're together and what others in our group have as we gather in different settings is something I know that all of humanity desires, that we get to actually experience. I honestly, I told someone just now, like, so that people around the world, in whatever capacity they're in, or whatever their country makes them do, they can see that that light is dominant, that love is one, not has one, it is one. And they can be inspired that there is hope, and hope materializes as it grows into the actual, it goes out of the quantum field and materializes into a physical experience. If not, we would just go back into the ethereal, but we are here manifested in the physical for this moment. So I think I'm very honored to be here. And I love you and love all of you on the call.
Gosh, thank you, Billy. I love you too, and I'm honored to have you in my circle of friends and
I feel it.
loved people. Oh gosh, yeah.
Dropping straight truth, like my whole body is just like, oh my gosh, yes, I feel like I was meant to be on this call. Thank you, Billy. Like, wow.
Yeah, it was like every sentence you were saying was another like bomb of like, yes, but like love bombs.
Yeah, the good guy. Yeah.
Thank you for dropping love bombs.
Loaded confetti and glitter.
Yeah.
Fairy dust.
Yes, I love all that.
That's it. I really feel it. Like, we are so honored. This community, like, people around the world watch what we post and what we see, and we're affecting the quantum field by our ripples. That's happening. But then as we share that in the visual and experiential, people are tapping into that, and they feel it. They sense that there's hope, that it's not, the world's not just closing in on itself, it's actually blossoming. And so I mean, we're like in the epicenter. I feel that we are in the epicenter of that blossoming. I really feel that that Nashville is the first city of light. And when I say Nashville, this area is the first city of light. That's my personal belief. And so we have this honored position, and we're actually seeing it happen. When we're together, when we go other places, we're seeing it. It's really developing and it's really blossoming, and that brings hope to the world, to the whole world.
Yes. I am so passionate. I'm gonna get on a little like spiel if it's good. I'm so passionate about being on earth right now at this moment. I swear, I used to think I was born in the wrong decade. I was like, I was supposed to be up there with the hippies doing stuff. And then the whole world, like, Billy, you're right. Like, part of it's kind of like imploding and part of it's exploding right now. And it's so cool to be a part of. Guys, I truly believe the age of Aquarius is here. Like, it's here and it's a new age. And what I understand about that is like all the old ways that really aren't serving most of us anymore are ready to crumble. And it's time, like, from the crumble and like, okay, it's crumbled, the veils were lifted. You know, we have the other side where like I'm choosing to bounce and delight and fly in. And it's just the bliss of like, you know, this new age, this new earth. And you know, every time I say new earth, I also am reminded that it's not new. I think it's our natural state where we come from, that light and beauty and bliss. And I like, it's here. And when I said like we were there in the new earth for 5 days, and I said we probably are still there, I am, and you probably are too. It's a matter of like shifting your consciousness and seeing like, man, we're in paradise. God, it's beautiful. People are amazing, and love is all around me. So you want to just like take a minute and like breathe that in. I've started to recognize I've done a lot of meditation in my life. I decided it was a truth that I can just connect with the divine in a moment's notice, you know, like so if that moves you, or if you felt any truth in the little spiel I did, let's just take some conscious breaths together. Breathe in. Release with your mouth open. I want to invite y'all to get like a little weird with me, because I feel weird. I feel weird being on a camera and doing this thing, but I'm so happy to be here. So like, let's breathe in, and this time just like be weird, some weird movements and faces and noises. Ready? Breathe in. And out. Ooh, I like that one. My arms are double jointed. Ooh. Okay. So SkallyWag's. One of the main things about SkallyWag's is just to play and have fun. Like as adults, we like put on this weird mask and we get in this weird role and we think we have to do like all this boring stuff, and like I'm in revolt. Like, let's just play. There's so much beauty, and creation is play, right? When we just kind of get to drop our roles and let loose. So I see SkallyWag's as a place of play, but also a place I want to host. I'll kind of like drop in the newest vision I'm getting is almost like an Airbnb for like spiritual conscious people who are like our yogis, our healers, our medicine people. I'd love to have gardeners, permaculturists, skilled craftspeople, people who hold knowledge, you know, like I want to call in these people, and I see our beautiful tribe as massive. And we tend to be the transient type, right? We don't tend to stay in one spot too long. So I'm really seeing, I'll just talk about it at SkallyWag's for now, just kind of this like flow of people who come in and share their thing. You know, we can do lots of workshops, and I want to host retreats and really build that around the people who are flowing in. Right now I have like about one event per month, but there's so much room that's open for who is going to come in and what magic they're going to bring. Gosh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. If you have questions at any time, feel free to like unmute or put it in the chat or interrupt and let me know. I'll take a little break.
Are those your pups in the background?
That is one rowdy dog. The male person came by, and her name's Scully. She's a Great Dane and Lab mix. She's 6 months old and such a mess. But also,
oh wow, yeah, love the pups.
I just remembered we had an event. My first and actually only event so far was an ecstatic dance embodiment camp out, and Billy was there. He's a badass Jedi photographer. And I just recalled we were at this point. We were at this point where the men in our circle were holding space for the females to like unleash our rage, and not just like our personal rage, but like we tapped into the rage of our ancestors and our sisters and mothers and grandmothers, and the pain that the imbalance of the masculine and feminine has been. Our brothers held space for us to unleash that rage, and gosh, it was so beautiful and so healing. And we knew that it, like Billy was talking about before, it like let out a ripple that's been felt, all over the world. Because when we do this kind of thing, like we call in our ancestors and mothers and sisters, we're calling in like a whole half of creation. And I just want to do more of this. And then the only reason why I brought up right now is because the FedEx dude had stopped by as we were unleashing the rage. And luckily someone else was kind of like holding the space outside of the circle. And he just like approached the FedEx man like, everything's good and cool here.
I still love that story. Every time I think about that, it just delights my heart. Benji holding the space. That was so how the divine masculine, how he loved himself and he positioned himself exactly what we needed. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. Not to interrupt, but I love that story. I could hear it all the time.
No, I didn't. Thank you.
Ashley or Lux, sorry. What you're talking about, the masculine and feminine and the imbalance, like it's I'm really tapped into that right now and healing in that area inside myself, and how it's manifested in community and in like you were talking about earlier, being seen and heard, feeling seen and heard, for what you bring. And yeah, I was wondering if you could speak to that a little bit more about what it means to be a goddess and a female embodied leader right now.
Yeah, thank you for welcoming that in. I strongly feel all of us who are sitting here are on that same page of like, oh, goddess energy. Like, man, even Billy, our one present masculine man, like not even Billy, but like a thing I admire about Billy is he really embodies his feminine divine as well as his masculine divine. And like he taught me to notice that within myself. And it's really beautiful to know like I am one. I have this like masculine structure, protector, knower, and guide in me, who I can just like crash into and know I'm held. And because I know I have that, the feminine side of me is ever so creative and expansive and flowy. And God, the goddess is just so beautiful, so magical, you know, like I think that's kind of like part of the witch hunt is like men who did not embody and respect the feminine within themselves were scared shitless of the magic and beauty the feminine holds. She is something to behold and honor and respect and hold and love and cherish. Oh, so I'm very passionate about this topic, and really what I feel called very specifically to do is to like roll out the red carpet for the rise of the divine feminine. And it's not like I need to follow that up. Oh, Zoom in this very moment just gave me, we removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting, a gift from Zoom. I want to screenshot this. Okay, sweet. In that moment, oh my God, thank you, Zoom. Thank you, synchronicities. What I feel passionate about doing is just rolling out this red carpet. And it's not like, okay, the feminine rises as this one and this head. No, it's just the balance of, you know, like that masculine along, like it's not just the masculine, but the toxic masculinity that was very much encouraged by a lot of our old structures and systems. It had a hold, you know, for like at least 2,000 years. But I definitely believe part of the new age is just like the masculine and feminine get to just be together and do our beautiful dance. I have a very wonderful, beautiful friend who gave a really beautiful analogy for the masculine and feminine and what it is to do that divine dance so balanced and perfectly. And it's rather simple. Basically, the masculine is the shore, the sandy beach and shore that holds the space and the structure, and the feminine divine is the whole ocean of water who like crashes against his shores and dances with them and rises and falls, and they're always connected and doing this beautiful dance. And without that masculine holding the space in a loving and beautiful way, you know, like the feminine would just like take over. And I'm quite sure creation without structure is a really chaotic world. So I'm thankful. I just want to say for what is the balance and peace and beauty of that divine cosmic dance of the masculine and feminine, each holding space for each other, admiring each other, and, you know, holding each other.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. That's right. And like you said, like it's within us too. It's the what do they call the Heros Gamos, or like the divine marriage, the alchemical marriage within the like you said, that you can depend on your inner masculine. You know, your inner feminine depends on your inner masculine, and so she feels free to flow and play, and she feels safe. And the more I think that we do this work on the inner plane, the more we'll see it reflected out. But it's happening it's happening simultaneously, you know, and it's really beautiful to watch. And gosh, I feel so blessed to be a part of this conversation. You're amazing, Lux. Thank you so much for doing this. And look at that, we got like extra time. Like, what? That's so cool. Woo.
Yeah, thank you for being here too. First, I need to say I'm honored. I'm so honored to be here and just being able to share this vision and have you three humans as these beautiful reflections and lights. Thank you. Oof. I was thinking about kind of talking about where this vision, kind of like how it was birthed and where it came from. Would y'all like to hear? Okay, so I have traveled the world for like at least a decade. I have traveled, I've lived in 3 different countries for like at least a year, sometimes 2. Traveled all up and down and around America. Not all, there's some spaces in America I haven't seen, but I've drove across America quite a few times. I was always seeking my home, my tribe, and my purpose. I did a lot to try to figure out what that was. Like, I have lived so many different lives in this one. I just turned 36 years old at Firefly. I have like packed so much into this life. My background is in teaching. I've taught for about a total of 8 years. I've taught every age. I've taught a variety of different topics. I think it was 2014 through 16. I'm always wrong with dates. Something vaguely in that time frame. I served in the Peace Corps in Morocco for 2 years. I was a youth development volunteer. I lived in 2 different communities. One was a small like mud village, our clay village. And then the other one was a desert oasis, very, very remote, basically on the border of Algeria. And in that experience, I found my purpose. I really did. I got to like live in a community of people that respected me and saw the work I was doing and just like really allowed me to have a place in the community. They trusted me to like take their kids on hikes, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal unless if you kind of like consider it's an Arabic country where women don't usually leave the house. And I had like teenage girls out with teenage boys running up mountains. But Morocco was really hard. I experienced a high level of harassment. There's a lot of gender roles. That was kind of just always like, almost like fighting. In a way, I was always fighting. And so I knew it wasn't, even though I had a purpose there, I knew it wasn't forever. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of speed this part up. I came back home. I tried out a million different like jobs and things. I was a flight attendant in Miami, and then I went to my very first festival ever. And I literally just like threw a dart at a board. I was like, I didn't think I'd like festivals. I was like, oh, camping, dirty, no showers. But I went to a place it was Lucidity in Santa Barbara. And it just happened to be something that they call a transformational festival. I was part of the green team. So I was just like picking up garbage and sorting trash and after the festival. And I met a girl named Ruthie. I was sorting trash. And I met this girl, Ruthie, over the trash bins. And she was like, hey, there's this place called Heartland. It's a community in Northern California. And I really think you should come. And she like went on to say like we really would appreciate you there, kind of. And it was one of those like knowings, like, you know, when your whole body fills with chills and you're like, that's right. So I went to my first festival. I saw myself. I had this experience where I saw and felt all of creation just like rushing from my womb. And that's where I knew that I was Lux. It's not my birth name, it's my star name. And I'm kind of going out of order. I'm very watery and air. But yeah, I saw myself, I saw the new earth, and then I ended up just traveling around to different festivals. I left my flight attendant job, and then my home base was this little community in Northern California called Heartland. And it's a lot, a lot like the dream that I have for SkallyWag's now. They're a conscious event space. I was there for like nearly a year, and like there was a small, maybe like around 10 people who lived there and took care of the land. But there was just like a flux of people who would come in. And unlike every other community, or unlike a lot of communities have lived on, like usually you kind of get stuck. You have all of these amazing people that get together and have an amazing thing. And then like, they just kind of solidify like, and this is our belief. But Heartland was so different because it was just people were moving through, and there was always a newness to it. And we were a conscious event space. And the very first event that happened the weekend I got there was an ecstatic dance festival. So as you can see, I'm very, very inspired by that. I came back to Nashville. Oh, I went to Burning Man that year. It was my first burn, went alone with my tent, and it was honestly tough. It's just common sense. It's tough to stay a week in the desert with a tent. And after Burning Man, and there was cool stuff too. After Burning Man, the universe like loudly told me, go home. Like told me, go home. And I knew in an instant, even though I searched for home for over a decade, the instant the universe said, go home, I was like, Tennessee, obviously. Came home. My sister's couch was, of course, there. Family's here. I know it and I love it. I love Tennessee. And I want to kind of like fast forward this. I'm just gonna like spit it quick. So I stayed on my sister's couch. I got a teaching job in order to like get on my feet, because I can always rely on that. And I ended up renting a room from a couple, and then that couple kicked me out because lo and behold, I got home like right in time for the pandemic, and they got really kind of scared, as a lot of people did. So no like blame or hate there, but they got scared and needed their space, and the whole world shut down. And like literally I was camping in Florida, and literally the day they told me like, hey, we need our space, I prayed to the universe and said like, I don't know where to go. Went to the beach, did yoga. I saw a rainbow, and then 2 dolphins just start like swimming around the shore right in front of me. And I got a text from who I'm certain is one of my brothers named Peter. And he said, hey, do you want to come out and like help me start a garden? And he lives in the country near Fall Creek Falls, also in Tennessee. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there today. So I got to spend a couple of months with him. And that's where I learned like, I really like house projects, and I love gardening, and I love plants, and I love that thing that comes with staying in a place for a minute. I just never knew because I never have. And I saw a house for sale across the street from him for $89,000. And I was like, I could buy a house. So fast forward a year, I did. And not only did I buy this house, like less than a year ago, once I realized I wanted a house, I started writing down very, very, very precisely what I wanted. and I'd see houses and they'd get closer and closer. And then the dream kept growing. And I was like, okay, so then no, I want this and this and this and this. I wrote everything down and did some really witchy rituals. I like literally, I wrote all these dreams down. I burned them with sage. I took my menstrual blood and like put it in that whole gushy mix. And all these trees at that time were on my I had 1-bedroom apartment. This is important. This is interesting. I paid $850 for a 1-bedroom apartment in South Nashville, which is not a desirable place to be. Sorry, South Nashville. And so I had all these trees on my little balcony, and I put that whole concoction up in them and just like prayed and blessed on these trees, which are now all over my land. And I have like everything and more and more and more keeps flowing in of like what I've asked for. It's just, I'm truly blessed with abundance. And I'm grateful for that. So I did skip a part. This dream came to me through a meditation. And I've been like literally talking with the divine for at least over a year. Since that whole thing happened in California, I've been like audibly speaking with the divine. And through a beautiful meditation course that Isha provides, they led us through like this meditation that really helped us find what we wanted. And I feel like this cosmic egg was planted in me, and it really started as just like an earth school. I didn't feel aligned with public education at all. And I was just like, I just want to help kids like to have a place where they can find their path and just like flourish. And then as I would tell my friends about it, they were like, can I come too? And I was like, yeah. And when the divine gave me this cosmic egg, they also told me like to not build walls on it, like figurative walls, like don't put walls or ceilings, because like this is gonna grow. And so once my adult friends were like, can I be involved? I was like, yeah, why not? We can all play. And I chose SkallyWag's PlayGround as the name for it, thinking it was going to be really an earth school for children, which is still part of it. But now I just see like children are a part of it, but we're a whole community, and everyone can play and grow and be a part of this thing. I'll take a pause here. You're welcome to chime in or just feel thoughts or feelings.
I'll point out something. Can y'all hear me? For everyone that's seeing this and anybody watching this recording, I do want to say 2 things. One, Lux, I think something like this on a weekly for you would be really powerful, allowing people into the SkallyWag's world and vision, and to be able to partake. And this is just such an easy thing to set up and do once a week or whatever. I want to tell you that. Thank you for holding this, and I see the value in this. 2, and this is on a synchronistic, just beautiful, that the divine feminine is with us, because for this entire Zoom, the horns of Isis have been above your head. And I've been taking screenshots. Literally, as you move, I can't get away from the horns of Isis literally being above your head. Like, it's phenomenal. I've taken so many screenshots that I'm gonna like cut them and trying to get just the right picture. So I'm gonna send you that, because it's so phenomenal. It's not by chance. We know this. Everyone on this call, I'm sure, is living in synchronicities and the flow. And it is not by chance. At every position you position at, you have the horns of Isis above you. So I'm grateful for her here, her presence coming through you and flowing through you, and her confirmation of what's happening. So it is real, it is powerful, it is true, and just honor. I honor. Just grateful to be here. Love you.
That's so cool. And it's funny because like I was set up to talk outside, and like as y'all might know, I'm a Cancer little baby / Gemini cusp. And I work really close with the moon and her light and the waters. And when I feel a lot of emotions, they tend to come out too. So it's really funny. I was set up to, like, I started this call outside, and then the rains came. I was like, all right, I got called in. Billy, I know of Isis honestly just a little. She's part of a goddess deck I have, and I know like a short blurb, but like because you brought her up and because she's like here with us, would you like to speak more about who she is?
Oh, she's the reason I'm in Nashville. She is the energy at the Batman building at 333 Commerce. She is one of the original archetypes of the divine feminine goddess, powerful magician, artist. It is said that in the myth of Isis that she had 9 Jedis that she sent out to conquer the world, but they were artists, poets, and musicians, not warriors in that sense. They were true light and rainbow warriors, I guess. And it was promised in that myth, this is my connection to her, are the Jedis. And it was promised in that myth that the Jedis would return, the artists would return at the transition of the age. And so as I moved to Nashville and she called me here, I have seen and witnessed the artists, the creatives coming together here. Many of us, so many, even more in the last year, going, I don't know why I'm here. I was in California, I was in Indiana, and I was just told to come here. And it's phenomenal. So I believe there's a regathering of those original Jedis, the return of the true Jedis, the Isis Jedis. So she is also, it would have been Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary that would have been in her lineage. So I see it like a rose line lineage. And so many of the goddesses came through those mystery schools, through the Isis mystery schools. And still then we're seeing that today. I do believe, this is interesting because you have the horns above your head. I do believe the ultimate part of the new age will be the horns dropping into, if you've ever seen Luluman or what's that brand, Luluman. If you look at their logo, it's like the horns of Isis dropped, and then it's the beautiful bride. So I do believe the horns, like Kali and that age, that energy, that goddess energy that has to destroy and put away things which are in now, which need, like you said, the parts that need to crumble, is for a time, but that the horns will fall. And if you see the Lululemon, or I may be saying it wrong, y'all probably know it's a very popular brand. If you look at theirs, it's like a bride. It's like the dropping of the horns, and we'll have the true wedding feast, the alchemical hierosgamos that I think was Ashley mentioned her, and inside, and we'll be able to have peace on earth. We won't need the horns anymore. We won't need that energy. We'll be able to just live in beauty and bliss. So I do think when I feel her presence, it's a powerful presence that is not playing around, that is putting away and forcing the institutions that held up the old structures to crumble without, just by her very energy, by her very frequency, not in an even aggressive way. It's just by her very frequency. Those institutions and those pillars of the old society have to crumble, and we're watching it every day. So that's what I feel.
Yes, Billy. All right. Yeah, it sounds like I can jive with Isis. Thank you for sharing that. I've had this really interesting kind of integrative time, where I see like, I guess I'm really seeing the light and the dark as their whole. And I'm seeing like, like there's really no like good or evil. And we've seen, the past 2000 years, the story of this like horned, like evil force being so bad. And it's just the dark side, like it's just the other side. And neither, I think a lot of times we like to say like, oh, the light will win. And it's a very like, kind of like Christian idea of like the light and then the evil that's so bad. And I'm really recognizing they're just the dualities, the either side. It's really this, it's the masculine and feminine, it's the light and dark, it's the day and night. Like who wants just day all the time, right? Like, so I've really done this beautiful deep dive into the dark. And like, it's not bad, you guys. Come and see the dark. It's just, I'll tell you what okay. I want to share this like moment of Firefly Forest. It was the last day and I kept trying to go. I was just ready to go. And this like Mad Hatter's tea house, who I hadn't actually even visited the whole festival, but like they had the music bumping, everybody was twerking. So I was like, yes, I love like, I want to do twerk shops and stuff out here. Like twerking in itself is so good, right? It's like it releases you and lets you like, move all that energy. So everybody's twerking. I'm like, yes. So I go up into this tent. Everybody's twerking. There was this beautiful girl. She's actually my friend who I became friends with at the festival. And she has red hair and her face was red. And she was raging. And it was like, she just kept saying like all these hard truths, but she was yelling them and she was on it. And like, but like, it felt like very much that like horned side, and she was like, I'm sober. I think most of us were, and just like, we were in it, it felt like this den of iniquities. And the next thing I know, like this guy he had asked me, he noticed earlier that I had this tattoo that got started, but I never finished it. And so he's like doing my tattoo in this den of iniquities. There's this like fiery female just like raging some truth. And I was like, ooh, this is an interesting place to like perch on, like, I think that's just like this, I don't know, I just wanted to share that.
I'm loving all of your stories, and I feel so inspired to like connect with you and Billy. I don't know if Ashley's still here with us, but I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and I hope you don't mind me sharing, but Tennessee is, or Appalachia, just the whole area is like my heart. Like my heart stays there. You know what I mean? Like, and there's just something about that place. And Tennessee, I think, means the meeting place. I'm pretty sure that's what it means in like the native language. I'm not sure which one that would be. Cherokee, maybe. So, yeah, I'm hoping that that I can come and visit your property at some time, like we talked about, and maybe I've always thought about doing like living half up in that area and half down here in Florida, and so it's just really inspiring me. I'm like, oh, there's the tribes there, like there's that's so good to know, because yeah, I want to spend more time in that area, and I want to hike. I just bought a hiking pack, and so when you said that Ashley leads these hikes and stuff, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, and then Billy's talking about the Sisterhood of the Rose, and I've been like, I don't know if you can see my ring, but it's a rose. I bought it and I kiss it all the time, and it's to remind me of the divine feminine within me, and how much I'm calling that in right now more than ever before, healing the mother wound. Like, and I just want to do workshops around this. I want to empower women. There's so much I want to do, and I feel like we could help each other so much. And so I'm just blown away that this happened, and that I could be a part of it. So I appreciate you so much. And if you're going to do this again, regularly, I'll definitely be there when I can. And I'd love to join you again for more conversations, and help bring more people on board too into the conversation. So I'm going to get going so I can do some work around here on my days off. And thank you so much, just everybody who's here and everybody who's watching. We're doing it, we're doing the great work. And one other thing I wanted to say was about, you were talking about the good versus evil, and it's like, what I was hearing was, that it's like banishing that into the shadow, like banishing the quote unquote bad, ugly, all that stuff, feminine, into the shadow. You're no good. The rage, that's off limits. Like, that's evil and bad. And it's so our time now to integrate. And there's so much in the darkness. There's so many treasures there that we can excavate. That's where the power is. That's where a lot of the power is. And it's misused when it's unconscious, and it comes out all willy-nilly, rather than being used in an intentional way. And so it's so important that we do that work. So thank you so much for holding that space for that work to get done in your community. And I'm just blown away by you, Lux, and Billy and Ashley. Your energy is definitely lending to this call. I can still feel you smiling. So thank you guys for having me on with you. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
Ray, I wanted to say, I keep like wanting to say this, and I'm gonna like say it real quick so we can all go. But I see these like conscious communities popping up everywhere, and I feel like it would be really cool for us to connect. Like almost like vouch for one another of like, hey, this is another good place. And it'd almost be cool to have like kind of like a trail of like stop in this state, in this state, in this state, for all these like amazing people who are already prone to traveling. So I'd love to like keep talking about that and keep that in the conversation. I think it's a great idea to do this weekly. I'll be in touch about like what and when makes most sense. I adore all of y'all. Love you. Thank you for your presence, and just like, let's keep doing the dang thing. It's a lot of fun. All right.
Question, Lux, are you going to post this video?
I think so. Yeah.
Definitely. I would love to share it.
All right. I might need your help in figuring out how to. Let's talk, please.
Sounds good. All right. Love y'all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Namaste.